Say it slow now.
Hi, I'm live. No, wait, I'm Merlyn. Wait, but this is Discount Dive with Lie, the Discount Diva. Yeah, let's go.
That was weird. Remember Rise of the Beasts? Critical and commercial failure, probably partially responsible for the downfall of TF1. I think it was a pretty good movie. And even though they were poorly served by the story, the maximals have no shortage of figures. I have all the mainline and studio series ones, and lijiang, I apologize for my pronunciation, around the time of the release of the movie, dropped these original molds of the four main characters. And the reason they're on Discount Dive, I think they were like 25, 35 a pop. Pretty big boys, to say the least. Big boy and girl, I'm sorry. During Pride Month, too. What's wrong with me? All of them also have die-cast boobs. Okay, wait, maybe... No, there's... Yeah. It occurs to me that tapping them in this fashion is probably not the most coherent way to show off the diecast. Kind of hard to show it off in video in general, but whatever. While I am going to be passing these off to my friend Nick, check out Rotorlink, link in the description. I do still think these are a pretty good bang for your buck. They're big and hefty and toyetic. The plastic quality is definitely leaning toward the side of knockoff figures, but it's the strong side of it. Like they're, oh, that actually hurt my fingy. Like they're hefty and toyetic, and you can just happily throw them at each other with no fear. No marks, no damage, no mess. There are ratchet joints, but they are the softest, butteriest detents this side of... Yeah, no, I can't think of one. Primal's head is a little limited by the big collar, but it's also kind of a look. And speaking of the look, it's a pretty solid look. It's a very interesting take on all these designs. I think it's pretty Zoids-like, says a girl who hasn't watched Zoids, but they look like the Zoids I've seen. The head sculpts feel very much like reinterpretations of all the characters. I think this set is pretty neat, honestly. If I had more space in my collection, I would definitely be holding on to them. Transformations are pretty simple all around. You're never gonna believe how Optimus Primal works. Parentheses, it's the same way that every Optimus Primal has worked for the past decade, close parentheses. Wait, no, you don't rotate that, you just... Let's spin the toes, tilt up his little gorilla face, and there you have our boy. I like the green eyes, that's pretty. He's giving Percy Jackson a little bit. It's a little bit of an undignified posture. He really knows how to arch that thing though, which I think is a cool play feature. It'd be nice if there was some posability in the head, but it's really just up and down, and that's really just for the transformation. I will say the articulation in general on these, it's passable, probably more equivalent to core class. Maybe not core class. They all have the essentials. The only noticeable lacking thing is Rhinox does not have wrists, but as much as they have all of these joints, it's a little finicky to get use out of them. Rhinox could definitely use some extra goo in his thighs. But that is a pretty mean head sculpt. Giving his trademark mohawk the rhino spikes, come on. I have a feeling someone in the design team was not comfortable doing human faces because they all have face plates. I think I like Cheetor's the most, honestly. The way this swooshes back gives a very aerodynamic feel. And Airazor is definitely the weakest figure overall. Her ratchets sound a little malnourished. She's weedier, she's skintier. It would be great to have a fembot that stands up to the mask bots around them. You never really say mask bot, do you? N-bot? Huh? But she does have a pretty hefty wingspan. Oh my goodness, I forgot how big it was. There is Gears again. He does not even reach the tips of the wing. But Airazor's alt mode is also the weakest. It does not pull any surprises in the transformation. None of them really do. It's all very panel heavy and a little bit shelly. I'm not talking about Duval. I am talking about a foot falling off though. I think the arms just like lay there. Yeah, it's inelegant. It's inelegant to say the least. Unless you like a bird with hands, in which case I have great news for you. This kind of looks like that Justice League lady. I will say from above she looks great. I love the metal plating detailing here. There's a lot of texture work going on in these guys. Like, as much as these are obviously cheap and cheerful made for kids type toys, there's more love put into these than I think there really needed to be. I think there was some passion behind this project. I feel like even if the hands just folded away a little bit, it would have helped the look. There's really not anywhere to put them. And unfortunately, the wings do not have a joint to bend downward, so you can't cover them up any more than that. Also, because of how hollow all the bottoms of the feet are, they make this... Well, okay, now it's not making it. Yeah, there it is. That horrific scratching noise. Don't like that one bit. But does Cheetor not have... Yeah, Cheetor doesn't have a waist. That's another crucial point that's missing. Flipperoonie. Pegatoony. Do what to Toonie? And the cheetah head on this is pretty sick. This is the most Zoids that I feel like it looks. He does appear to have a pretty rough underbite, but it can open up and crunch on your finger a little bit. Oochie, ouchie, wow, wow. I feel like that's pretty Zoids. Again, I'm unfamiliar with Zoids, so I could be talking out of my cheeks here, out of my mouth cheeks here. And then, of course, the brains of the operation himself. I'm not going to excuse the lack of wrists because the Cheetor's hands worked the same way, and they were on ball joints instead of hinges, so they were able to rotate. It seems like we're cheaping out here on such premium figures. I mean, this is kind of cute if you want him to just be, "Hello, mister, can I please have my Tanko brain back? Have my brain back from Tanko, please? Please, I would just like a little morsel. Please, a little morsel of myself." Beast Machines was a very good show, actually, Princess. Oh, and I love that. That looks very headstrong. And I'm not just using the adjective. I mean, that looks like... Is headstrong the bull? I think headstrong's the bull. Which one's the cuck? And as much as I'm not big on this backpack, because it's just kind of sitting there, I feel like this is probably the most successful of the beast modes. Come on, I feel like that's pretty mean looking. Very hefty, only a little bit of a fair amount of butthole going on. Drop this down to try and hide it a little bit. No side to side, so you can't simulate the rhino pooping really hard moment. I say moment, it's like from real life. What are real life moments called? Chat, what if they made clipping in real life? Yeah, Rhinox is probably the best one. The colors are just nicer on this. Like, that's a very mac and cheese yellow back there. Most boring possible palette for Air Raid.
Yeah, that would be a Air Razor. I don't, what is she talking about?
Optimus Primal looks like Optimus Primal. You get some Toamata Anua.
Okay, this one I think is more explicable because for some reason the Toametru are named Anua and Wenwa, not to be confused with Toamata Onua. But at the same time, what I meant was Pohatu. I was talking about Pohatu. So,
for the brown and then some Lewa for the greens. Bionicle fans in the comments, sound off. Oh, just pop those in a little further. There we go. Look at that. Neat and tidy little lad. Oh, they also have like weapons or whatever. Rhinox comes with these two big blasters. Pop them on here in dino mode. Not dino mode. Rhino mode. Rhinosaur, is this anything? He also has this axe, which is a little bit short and also can't go anywhere in Rhino mode. Cheetor, or Cheater, has his singular little dinky gun. Feels appropriate. This is, I think, the coolest weapon in the bunch. The Cheetor sword. His classic sword, HB-33. Harry Potter in the 33. And while Air Razor has the best weapon storage, she is, of course, burdened with the woman weapons. Just the smallest little knives. I say smallest, they're still like almost the size of a deluxe, but for this set it's pretty dinky. They can tuck away back here, and that's kind of neat. And Primal has the neatest trick where his weapons go nowhere. There's no weapon storage whatsoever on him. He only gets one of his iconic swords and one of his non-iconic blasters. It is nice that they all get their own individual blaster molds, though. Except Air Razor. I guess women can't have guns in this world. But if you like Primal, despite him being one of the weaker two, Lijiang also inexplicably made an upgrade kit for him that makes him less like this interesting new take on Primal and more like his classic design. Well, I think there's merit to this Zoids-like take on Primal. It's hard to argue with the results, which you will see with a little bit of movie magic. Nah, that's pretty nice. That is one of the cleanest Primal head sculpts I've ever seen. I know that his iconic look is with his big kissable lips visible, but it's so nice and crisp. And he comes with two blades. Are they the same blade? Yeah, they're the same blade, but they're actually painted silver, so they look nicer. And aside from that, the only other thing that gets upgraded is the monkey head. Still no side to side on it, but it's darker and it opens in anger. Blue eyes this time, though, a little bit lamer. Unfortunately, none of the others got that kind of upgrade, and I don't think Lijiang has made anything else unless they're hiding around in the third-party market somewhere. They apparently had prototypes of like a Megatron and a Dinobot, so I'm really sad that we never got those. Hold on, let me magic a comparison between this one and the regular form. Look how good I am at editing. Hold on, I can even make them kiss, I bet. Yeah, I don't know why I bought two, but I did. So as much as Rhinox is the best and Cheetor is the most interesting, the only thing I'm keeping is the upgraded Primal. I feel like you can have a Primal on just about any shelf. Maybe if they made upgrades for the others, I would have considered keeping them as well, but it comes down to it, I'm a simple girl, and a simple girl who likes monkeys. And this sure is a monkey man. But these seem to still be pretty widely available on AliExpress. Again, I think it's like 30 to 35 each, and I think for what you get, it's a very reasonable price. Like size-wise, they're dwarfing modern leaders, even the biggest modern milligram leader. And they're obviously not up to snuff engineering-wise with something like Megatronus, but they are fun, and the materials are solid. Again, you can bang them against each other as much as you want, and I think it's going to be fine. If you're only going to get one, I would say Rhinox is your best bet. Sorry to all the Air Razor fans, she has very little going on. I'd say her appeal starts and ends with the big wingspan. Everything else is... Oh, I just realized one of her legs is backwards. What are we doing here? There we go. Now she's perfect. Oh. But Rhinox is the best. Cheetor has the coolest weapons and the coolest head sculpt. But if you want a solid, chunky, big, fun, kind of stylized Primal, I think you can buy it with the upgrade kit on AliExpress. Like, that's one of the buying options. I think it's only like another $5, $7, $10, maybe $12, maybe $13, maybe $14, maybe $15, maybe $45, maybe $25. Maybe it's just another $1. But you know what else is just another $1? Entry to the Diaclona Discord, which you can check out in the link in the description below. Right below the link to Rotorlink. Check out Rotorlink. He'll probably be reviewing these one day eventually. Also, look how unnecessarily massive these boxes were. Like, this is one of these. They're also so shiny for no reason. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. God, I can't wait to have these out of my house. I avoid the street that you live on. You're a magnet pulling my feet and my head off. And I scramble my brain, wasting away, looking for ways that I can avoid you to pull the weeds, suck the venom. Dang, even Cheetor is circumcised.